Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about something really interesting to do with new additions for Star Wars coming soon to Disney+. Before I dive into it guys, please may I ask you to hit like down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new and a huge welcome if you are, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new content to the channel. So my dear Mandalorians, without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's just dive straight into it. Disney Plus have decided to do some deep dives into the history of Star Wars and add some EU content as well as the original Clone Wars series. What's really interesting about this is the way that a lot of sites have covered it. So Games Radar have said Disney Plus is getting some incredibly obscure Star Wars spin-offs. And you know what, they're absolutely right. Before we look at this article, let's look at the comprehensive list of what's being added. We have Caravan of Courage, Ewoks The Battle for Endor, Star Wars The Clone Wars Volume 1, Star Wars The Clone Wars Volume 2, Star Wars Ewoks Season 1 and Season 2, and The Story of the Faithful Wookiee. But the big question on my mind is, where is the 1978 holiday special? I mean, they've really dug deep with some of these, especially Caravan of Courage. Why couldn't they have included the holiday special? Come on Disney, get your stuff together. But hey ho, we can always find them elsewhere online. Now as for the full list of shows, I've included them in the description, so please do check those out. So let's see what this article has to say. Disney Plus is adding a handful of obscure Star Wars movies and TV series, including an animated short that is currently only available on Blu-ray. Unless you're a Star Wars mega fan, there's a good chance there's something in the latest batch of new Disney Plus movies and TV shows you haven't seen or even heard of. And if you're particularly fond of Ewoks, well, you better hold on to your seat. As flagged by AV Club, the 1984 made-for-TV movie Caravan of Courage, an Ewok adventure, its 1985 sequel Ewoks The Battle of Endor, and the 1985 animated series Ewoks are all joining the streaming service. And this will all be available on April 2nd, almost like a late April Fool's joke. On the same day, Disney Plus is getting Tartakovsky's much-loved Star Wars Clone Wars animated series, a show that aired on Cartoon Network from 2003 to 2005. Now here's where things really stray from the canonical path. The Story of the Faithful Wookiee is an animated short first broadcast in 1978 as part of the holiday special, but we're not getting the full thing. Until April 2nd when it premieres on Disney Plus, it's only ever been available as an Easter egg tucked away inside the complete Star Wars saga Blu-ray release. And it's also going to include the very first appearance of Boba Fett, so add this to your list when it launches and you'll really stand out at the next Star Wars trivia night. Now the one I'm really looking forward to is Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. This is something I grew up with, but unfortunately it's no longer canon, so it's going to be a really interesting dynamic to have it on Disney Plus alongside all of the canon content. So I must say guys, I'm a little bit confused about this news, but most of all excited and curious. I'm going to check out the Ewoks content, specifically the live action film Caravan of Courage. I've never seen it before, but I guess you can't get enough Ewoks. But I'm really curious to know what you guys think of this news. Are you going to check out any of this content on Disney Plus? Could you care less? Are you hyped? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. So let's move on to our next article because we do have another piece of news. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order developer hiring for a likely sequel. Respawn Entertainment could be gearing up to enter full production on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. That's if a new job listing over on the studio's recruitment website is anything to go by. According to senior producer Blair Brown over on Twitter, the successful applicant will work directly with the team and whatever projects are being developed behind the scenes. As some of you may or may not know, I'm a big Jedi Fallen Order fan, and as such we've known for a while that there was going to be a second outing for the adventures of Cal Kestis. But this news suggests that it's no longer in the concept stage and they might even be in the planning stages, so this is really big news and I'm super excited for whenever the second one comes out. So finally guys, we're going to be talking about Katee Sackhoff and her experience on set for The Mandalorian. So this article essentially explains why it was quite a struggle at first to bring her character into live action. After seeing concept art for her character in live action for Mando, Katee Sackhoff headed to Lucasfilm to get fitted for her armor. Despite all her work, it was her first time doing a 3D body scan, and she geeked out with Bo-Katan's creator Dave Filoni about how she looked. In her own words, she says, "I looked exactly like her, and it felt like a birth to him. This character that he had drawn has all of a sudden crowned and has been birthed." Shortly afterwards, filming began. She says, "I knew the character, I memorized my dialogue, and I was ready." Or at least that's what she thought. The reality was very different. She said, "I thought I was more prepared than I was." While she had voiced her for years, she never walked as her, she never moved around as her. Sackhoff stated, "How does Bo-Katan sit? How does she move? I don't know anything and I was panicked." Thankfully, Sackhoff wasn't working alone. Bryce Dallas Howard, who directed Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian, quickly set Katee Sackhoff straight. She says, "I remember her saying to me that it's fine. You're just like Pinocchio, you've been a wooden boy for so long, and now you're a real boy, and you just have to figure out how to walk and talk." All of a sudden, I had this metaphor for what I was going through. She then admits that Jon Favreau was a huge help. Favreau worked extensively with Sackhoff to define Bo-Katan's body language, drawing on the character's rich backstory in animation to define how she moves in real life. "This is a woman who is noble born," is what he said. "She's very purposeful. She's a princess, for a lack of a better word." He goes on to say, "So I wanted to make sure that she was calculated and that she wasn't a person who slouched and she wasn't a person who moved as much as I do." There were nerves all around for both Katee Sackhoff and Jon Favreau. None of those nerves made their way onto the screen, of course. In The Mandalorian, Bo-Katan is just as confident and charismatic as her animated counterpart. It's still the same character, just brought into live action. Given the events of The Mandalorian Season 2 finale, it seems as though Bo-Katan will be a recurring presence going forward in the series. And hopefully she'll be more comfortable knowing the process now. Like the rest of us, when it comes to Bo-Katan's future, Sackhoff is in the dark. She even admits, "I honestly wish that I could tell you I knew something, and I really don't." And to be honest guys, I think we're in for something really huge and I can't wait for Season 3, which should hopefully drop sometime next spring. I really enjoyed this article because it really shows you the psyche of a voice actress who comes to life as her character. I mean, even in the lead up to The Mandalorian Season 2, when there were rumours floating around that Bo-Katan and Ahsoka would appear, we were all saying that they have to do it right. But just imagine the sheer pressure you're under as the actress who has to go through it yourself and bring this character who fans love in animated form, but in a live action version. You must be saying to yourself that you can't mess up, but luckily Katee Sackhoff did an absolutely amazing job. But I want to know all your thoughts, guys. What do you think of today's news? Did you enjoy it? If you did, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also please consider becoming a patron, where for just $2 or $10 a month you can get exclusive access to content that's not found here on YouTube. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.